Welcome everybody to this video about using your in-ear monitors with our X32. Today we're going to be talking about our wireless in-ear monitors and how to get a reasonable, useful mix in that system so that you can have and be hearing exactly what you need to hear. So we're going to start with this here application. And we're going to move the screen to see this application. When you load up this application, the first thing you're going to want to do is, in this little green top right here, this little green, it may be red when you first get it, looks like a Wi-Fi symbol. You're going to need to make sure that you connect to our mixer. Here it says mixer, and you have to input the IP address of our mixer. Now this is our mixer's IP address on our local network. If somebody else is watching this video to get ideas about their own system, your mixer will have a different IP address than that. So once you have that entered in, you just hit OK. And then at the top, you see demo mode. Make sure that's turned off. If that is turned on, your device will be in a demonstration mode and will not function the way you expect it to. So let's go back now from this to our home screen. First off, when we first load this in, our home screen will have nothing on it, and then at the top it will say 1 left. This is the first output bus. We call them output buses of our console, and it is the left side monitor system for our singers who stand on the platform. By pushing that button at the top where it says left, we can go and pick either the left monitor, the right monitor, in-ear monitor 1, or in-ear monitor 2. Now, I'm using the belt pack labeled in-ear monitor 2, IEM2. So I'm going to select in-ear monitor 2. And then just hit the close button, and up at the top you'll see the in-ear monitor that you've selected along with the number of which output bus it is. This happens to be number 4. So from here we're going to go down to the bottom, and we have 4 little buttons at the bottom. These are going to allow us to assign presets of groups of things that we want to have quick and easy access to whenever we're jumping in here. So we're going to start in the first group. I'm going to make the first group me, my microphone. Now, I know that if you're watching this video, you would have noticed I'm holding the microphone with the white stripe on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I can assign that to be white. However, for the purposes of our demonstration, I actually have something misrouted in there so that I can play back a whole set of music for you guys later on to really get the idea of this mixing. So this microphone is actually red right now. So I'm just going to pick red. That's me. I'm not playing a guitar. If I was playing a guitar, I might pick that guitar as well. And this will become me. This first group of things, I'm going to have that just be me. Now, what you're listening to in this video is actually the direct feed of what I'm hearing in these in-ear monitors. So if I turn this down, this is just me. You're going to hear me get softer. And if I turn this up, this is just me. You're going to hear me get louder. And then back to the default position, which is labeled 0. So that's me. That's the thing I want to have easy, quick access to all the time. The next thing I want is I want to generate a group of musicians that are important for me to hear as a singer. So I'm going to push my next group here. And for me, that's going to be the piano. That's going to be the bass guitar. And that's going to be the stems tracks. So those are the tracks that come back to us with our click track. Those are the musical inputs of that track. So once I'm done, I'm just going to push my bottom button number 2 again. I can turn that up and down, and that will be just fine. For my third group, I'm going to have that be some ambient sounds. So if I scroll down here, we actually have 2 dedicated inputs labeled ambient left and ambient right. If those don't seem to be working, we also have 4 choir mic dedicated inputs. Right now, our ambient left and right and our choir 1 and 2 are the same input. So I'm going to go ahead and have ambient left and right be in my group number 3, and that's going to give me a little bit of a sense of the space that I'm singing in. And then I'm going to go into group number 4, and for group number 4, I'm only going to add the click track. This will give me a quick and easy to grab onto control of tempo. Okay, so now I have these preset groups set up, and if I turn this up and down, I can turn up everything in that up and down together as a unit. But there's a problem here, right? As of right now, I have not made any sort of reasonable mix for these things. Before we get into mixing live, one other thing we'll need to remember here is if you scroll your screen to the right, you'll notice the 2 dots right underneath up at the top. This over here to the right is a master output. So you have a volume control on your belt pack. If I hold up my belt pack here, you'll see there's a volume control on it. And that's great, and you can turn your volume up and down that way. But if you start turning your volume up and down that way and you feel like just the whole thing is too soft, and you're on your main page, scroll over and see if the bus master has been turned up or down. This is the overall volume of your ears. So there are basically 2 different stages at which the overall volume of your ears are controlled. This is the first one. So if you turn this down, my voice is going to get softer, but if I had other things going on in the track, they would also all get softer. So when we get started, we want to make sure our bus master is at 0, and that's usually good. And then I work from there. If I feel like I need more overall volume, I turn my volume up on the in-ear pack itself. Right now, my in-ear pack is set to about halfway. So we're going to go back here. So the way we're going to start is we're going to start with them all the way down except for my microphone. So here I am. I have a good amount of sound in my ears. So for that, I'm happy. I don't need to do anything else to that, I don't think. So that's great. If I start to sing songs, I can hear what I'm singing. That's very important. You got to hear yourself. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start playing a track. This was recorded this past Sunday evening as we did our rehearsal. This is a multi-track input, so everything we did at rehearsal is included in this track, so I can actually mix live what's going on here. So right now I have a track playing, and you can see noise sort of coming into the click track section, and I'm going to turn that up. And keep turning it up till I feel like I can hear it well in addition to my voice without it overpowering my voice. I don't want this to be so loud that it distracts me from the rest of everything else. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up group number 2. Group number 2 is
pre-chorus.
Currently for me all instruments. So that got really loud really fast because that's a whole bunch of different inputs. It's 3 inputs. As you can see here, it's 4 inputs including drums. And so that got loud pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my device sideways.
Chorus.
And when we turn our device sideways, what we're going to get access to is every single individual input in our system. So this is great. This is very helpful because what this means is now what we can do is we can add in specifically the things that we need more of or less of. So I might need more piano typically. There's not a piano in this track here. What you're seeing light up there is just some ambient noise from the piano microphone. Hold on a second. We're going to go back here first. I'm going to pull that click track down so I can just hear what I'm listening for. Okay, so I got my piano up. For me, the stems tracks are pretty important when I don't have a piano. That might be a little too loud if I'm singing. Oh no, 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 even for my God is with me. No, I can hear that just fine, so that's good. Getting myself a little bit of bass, just a little bit of drums to give myself extra tempo here. Not too much. You never let go through the calm. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied with that right now. I can turn that up or down to my liking to balance out with my voice. So I like the overall mix. If I turn it up too loud, I start to lose. So I'll turn it down until I hear myself sticking out of that mix really well. Let's turn my click track back up. Okay. Now, my mix number 3 was these ambient microphones. So it's going to give me some sense of space. And And you can start to hear the other singers that were singing. So as I turn that up, you can hear the other singers that were singing that day at our rehearsal. So that's good. We can hear everybody. We can hear the room, the sound of us singing in that space, and that's helpful. Lets us know if our audience is engaging with us. Lets us connect to them better. So let me get my click track back here. Let me turn that down just a little bit because that might be a little distracting.
Bridge.
There's the bridge. Light that is coming for a heart that holds on, and there will be an end to these struggles, but until that day comes, still I will praise you, still I will praise you. That's good. I'm gonna pause our tracks now. So I'm mostly satisfied with that mix there. Yeah, that's enough for me to know what's going on, be able to hear what I'm doing and make my own settings and hear my voice well so I can sing appropriately with the rest of the instrumentalists. But that mix seemed to be lacking, to me anyways, a bit of our actual vocalists, right? Like I could hear the other vocalists through that ambient channels that I added in there, but maybe not quite enough of them, right? So one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and add my other vocalists, and they were singing on yellow, gray, white, and orange. I'm going to add them to that track here. And I'm going to turn that back up here. And then I'm going to go sideways again. And I'm going to go to my yellow, gray, white, and orange, which is on the second page here. It's on the here we are. And I'm going to turn them all up to maybe a little bit between this -30 and this -20 settings, right? Just enough to add some of them, right? Because when I'm listening to the in-ears, the point of them is for me to be able to hear myself primarily. And Bo Beeson was singing on white mic as this rehearsal as sort of our vocal lead. So I'll turn him up a little extra so that I can really hear the leader and stick with whoever's leading our music that morning. And then I'm going to go back over here to my ambient microphones, and you see they have gotten turned all the way up because the way that master was, it combines them together and sort of keeps them in relationship to one another. So that's not quite good for me. So I'm going to turn these down to about -5 so that they don't become overbearing. Get this back here. There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to turn my phone back to the front way. And so now I've got myself. I've got all of my band. I've got my ambient sounds and my other vocalists. And I've got my click track. So let's see how I feel about this. Let's start my track over again.
2, 3, 4. Verse 1.
Can you hear things? Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, perfect love is casting out fear. Okay, so I can hear that pretty good. Of this life, I won't turn back, I know you are near.
Pre-chorus.
And I will fear no evil. So I don't really feel like I can hear my other vocalists clearly enough. So right now, I'm going to go back to my sideways view. I'm going to turn down those ambience again. That's going to clean that up a little bit. And I will scroll back to where the vocalists are. I'm pretty happy with this right now, actually, so let's go back here. No, you never let go. Lord, you never let go of me. Yeah, I can hear everything. So we can even turn this up some more if we need to. I can see a light that is coming for the heart that holds on. A glorious light beyond all repair. And there will be an end to these troubles, but until that day comes, we'll live to know you here on the earth.
Pre-chorus.
And I will fear no evil. So right now, I'm going to pause their tracks here. So right now what I'm hearing is mostly myself and the vocal leader. When the vocal leader gets strong, him and I are pretty much on par with one another in my ears. Maybe I have a slight edge, which is good. That means I can hear myself very clearly and correct any issues, like when I got a little pitchy or when I forgot a word, and I can hear really how obvious that is when I forget words. And I get a good little bit of a sense of the room. I get enough click track. I still have space to turn my click track up some more if I need to, which is good. You never want to have something all the way maxed out at the beginning, right? Because then as you get into your song, as you get into your service, if you realize you need more click track and you try to go get your phone and get your click track turned up just a little bit real quick, you don't have anywhere to go. So if you feel like you have to turn things all the way up all the time, what you need to do instead is go grab your master fader and turn that up so everything gets louder. Or go grab your in-ear monitor pack and turn that up so everything gets louder. One of the things you'll notice is I'm wearing both of my in-ears. To accommodate for wearing both of my in-ears, I make sure to add in those ambient microphones. But there's one other thing I can do to sort of make myself feel less like I'm trapped in a box, right? Because let's face it, right now it feels kind of like we're trapped in a box here. So let's turn this back to sideways. We're going to go way, way over past even more stuff. And we're going to go here to what says FX1 left and right, FX2 left and right. All right. And so these are the effect units that we use. We can add this reverb here. So this first reverb is check, 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 check. It's a long, decaying cathedral hall reverb. And the second unit here is another reverb. It's a shorter room reverb. So you can just add just a little. This is probably too much. Just a little bit of that into your ears to give yourself more of that sense of space. And because I didn't attach this, because this reverb unit isn't attached to one of our 4 major groups, I won't be able to grab at it quickly from my home page. So that's important to note. For the most part, that's probably not going to be too big of an issue, but it's something you need to keep in mind. So here we go. We're going to start again.
2, 3, 4.
And we're going to hear the difference.
Verse 1.
Already my microphone sounds less like I'm trapped in a box, just talking with things going on around me. And with all the other things going on, with the instruments and the vocalist singing, I really don't hear that reverb so much as I just feel less boxed in. And that's helpful. The storms of this life, I'll live, and I've forgotten the words. Here we go. And I will fear no evil, for my God is with me. And if my God is with me, whom then shall I fear? Whom then shall I fear? Oh no. And so that right there is a good basic mix and a good way to get to a solid mix for yourself in this here in-ear monitor app. So this is the X32-Q app, and it will connect to our console here, and you can use any of our wireless in-ear packs and control them with this system. And then from the home page, you have your quick grabs of groups, and you can turn sideways to make minor adjustments within the way your groups relate to one another. I have too much piano, not enough guitar. You can change the balance of those things as you see fit. You can scroll through, and you have access to every single input, which is kind of a lot. So for the most part, when you're just getting kicked off, just grab these groups here, put yourself, put your instruments, put your ambient and other voices, and grab your click track and get yourself in a nice, good to go, easy, quick startup place. And that'll help you a lot. You'll be ready to go in no time. So I hope this was helpful. If you don't want to use this method to actually get your mix, the app is totally customizable. You can set it up to record things however you want them to. You can add yourself, and if you're playing a guitar, you can have your voice on a guitar be in that first group. There's no right or wrong way to group up your pieces. Just make sure that you group them up in a way that works for you. If you always feel like you need to grab one or two of those other vocalists in your ears and bring them up a little bit to hear what's going on at rehearsal, and then bring them back down to fit in your rest of your mix, those might be a good that might be a good group to have. If you feel like you just want to set your click track really loud so you always hear it and always have tempo, and then never put it in there, never adjust it again, you can do that. So there's a lot of options here. You can really set it up however you want, and you'll be okay. You'll be in a good spot. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Yeah, look forward to seeing you guys at practice, and hope that you have an excellent in-ear monitor experience.